Destination Banter with Tony Smith.
Riser, welcome back to the studio. And we're joined in the studio today with none other than Autism Mums. So check that out. Here's a bit warm in here, isn't it?
It is.
You know the Craig friends. It's there. There it goes, look at that there. And the glasses are off. So how are you?
Doing good, thanks Tony.
Great. Thanks for coming into the studio again.
Nice to meet you.
And it's great to have you in. Now, I'm just going to give my shout outs first. Matthew T. Metzler, Autism Mums are in the studio with me. So they're going to set up a Twitter account and you'll get all the details there. They'll send you t-shirts and stuff, you know, for a bit of support. So there you go, he's looking to support you.
And if he wanted to support us, he could send us a few things that we could maybe auction off or raffle off in return for one of our class Autism Mum t-shirts.
There you go. If you've any breaking bad stuff laying about the house, Matthew, or out in the cupboard or out in the shed or anything, get it over to me and I'll give it to Autism Mums and they'll auction it off. You'll be doing them good. Phil Howard, big shout out to Phil. Big shout out to Joseph E. Sultana, all down in London. Scott Samain, big actor. Scott, we're coming for you too. Who else? Everybody. Beaky Cunningham in Manchester. Miss Anufa in Dubai. We'll see. So everybody. Just hello to everybody. Razor, you're all welcome back to the show. So how's it going?
So from the last time we were talking to you, the group has almost trebled in size. And
check that.
Yeah, and the last time we were speaking to you, we were meeting with the kids once a month in the funhouse.
Yeah.
Now, since the last time we were speaking, we have a full committee.
Wow.
We have our chairperson, secretary, events coordinators, fundraising coordinators, personal development coordinators.
Wow.
This is Kathy here.
Kelly.
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 Kathy is the events now. So we have we've been running a summer scheme the whole summer, and we've been doing mostly 2 events per week and giving the kids a bit of structure and a bit of routine and stuff over the summer holidays when they're out of school and they're missing that getting up every day and getting out for a certain time and stuff like that. So the group's kind of just growing and growing and growing, and we have loads and loads of different things coming up now very soon.
So everything's happening for Autism Mums. And I was talking to Cara and a few other girls. I was down at the Indo Fun Day. Have to say, you put on a great day.
Well, the Indo did most of it now, and a big thank you to the Indo
and fair play to the boys for getting waxed. Andy Kearns, the younger brother Connor wasn't so much waxing, it was more like Velcro Connor had. They couldn't wax him. But I have to say, fair play to everybody. Got Pat Quinn and various other people that went up and got the chest waxed and the back waxed because it looked pretty painful, I can tell you.
Yeah, I seen a couple of the videos. I wasn't able to make it myself, but I've seen a couple of the videos, and you have to
I'd rather get the hair burnt off with a flamethrower than go through that there. That looks evil, you know. And the girl who was waxing, she looked so young and pretty and all, you know, but she was putting it on all smiles. But every time she kind of peeled it off, you could see her going, yeah. You know?
That's because she knows what we go through all the time.
Oh, well, that's not for me, honest to God. Get a lawnmower, do my back, that'll be me. I'll do my own back with a lawnmower for charity. But it was a big day now, I have to say, and the group's going well. You have a proper charitable group now. You have a committee, everything's running. And a lot of things are going your way, you know.
It is certainly, and we had a whole pile of fundraising things now, and thankfully local businesses have come on board and they're supporting us a lot as well. Pro Fitness in Moorpoint is running white collar boxing, and half the proceeds is coming to Autism Mums and half is going to the hospice. And we have 2 fantastic Autism Mums that is starting their training tonight with 3 weeks training to get into the ring, and they are going to get up and represent us. So it should prove to be a fab night. The support we're getting from the community now is amazing. The Brass Monkey has been an immense support.
Marie-Therese.
So we have Ladies' Night coming up there on the 4th of September.
Wow.
And it's going to be a fab night. Local businesses again have come on board. The Beauty Spot in the Meadows coming. They're doing nails, facials, makeup, all that kind of things. Clear Cuts in Hill Street, they're coming doing excuse me, up styles, and classy ladies from Rostrevor, they're coming and they're showing their handbags and stuff, and you can buy stuff like that. We have Kylie Minogue tickets to raffle on the night.
Check that, friends. You want to win a Kylie Minogue ticket? Get in,
support the Brass Monkey.
Support Autism Mums and get into the Brass Monkey, and you'll have a great old night. And you could win a ticket to Kylie Minogue.
4th of September. There'll be a few spot prizes and stuff like that on the night as well.
Yeah.
We also have told you about the white collar boxing, but Newry Inc. have very kindly came on board and have chosen us as their autism charity for the tattoo marathon.
Brian, a big nervy pair of the boys were in. I'll tell you, that's a great thing that they're doing.
Oh, it is, but it's going to end up, it's going to be a full family event. You might think, tattooing, that's not really my deal, I don't think I'll bother. The street's going to be closed off after the market. There's going to be live bands.
We talked about that in here. Me and Brian and Mervyn talked about that in the Banter show, and thank God everything's coming together, lads, and I'll be there to support if I can support you, so I'll be there to support you, you know.
Yeah, so it's going to prove to be a fab day. Like Dan Gregory's out in Camla, they're working with the boys from Newry Inc. and they're putting on sweets and juice and crisps and stuff like that for the kids. So it will be a fab day for the whole family, whether you're getting a tattoo or you're interested in a tattoo or not. Get down and support the boys. They're doing this and they're not taking one penny themselves.
That's great.
They're giving it all.
A big shout out to everybody at Dan's Bar, young Daniel. Lad. Thanks for supporting autism mums. I'll have to get out for a pint some of these evenings, you know.
Just one night.
Just one, only one. I get a taxi in and out, you know, you crack yourself.
Yeah.
But it's great. But see, since I got autism mums, I have to say, since I got autism mums onto the Banter show, I've never heard of so much about autism, and I'm learning about autism, and the likes of Brian and Mervyn coming in here, and they're even looking to get educated about it too, you know.
That's
so there's a big knock-on effect.
We met with Brian there coming up in 2 weeks ago now. Brian was so inquisitive, wanted to know so much more about autism and stuff like that, and at the end of the day, we know autism from our perspective and what our child's like, but we are all learning off one another as well, you know.
So all our children are very, very different. No child with
different
autism.
stages and levels of autism.
Different levels, but
it's
there
the
are
spectrum,
different ways.
where they are on the spectrum, if you know what I mean.
Funny enough, I'm not sorry to break your word, I want to give a big shout out to the Star Theatre Company. Marion Kenny, Mars, and Mars is in the spectrum, and I didn't know. You know, and I had them on. She's running the Star Theatre Company in Belfast, and they're doing, you know, they're doing theatre in Liverpool and all over the place. So a big shout out to them too. So, Marion, if you're about Octoberish, come down in September to support the girls here.
Yeah,
you'd be surprised the minute you speak to somebody about what you're going to do, whether you're going to an event. Somebody would say, "Oh, I know such and such." Like the first one that I went to was in the hockey club. And I had been speaking to a girl, we were awake a couple of nights before, and we were talking about kids, and she was saying, "Hurry, I don't know if it was a girl or a boy, but she was saying, oh, they're mad," and I was going, "Oh, my Dylan's mad too." And it was only till we met at the hockey pitch, and nobody even said, I never said anything that Dylan's in the process of getting, you know, diagnosed. And we met at the hockey pitch, and she was like, "I didn't know," and I was like, well, it was not something that you kind of just blurt out. You know, if you know, you kind of feed it in, you just don't blurt out, "Oh, I've got a son and he's getting diagnosed for autism," you know. But you'd be surprised at many people that I never knew whose children.
It's unbelievable, and it's the levels in the spectrum.
Yeah.
You know, it can range from mild to severe, obviously, but, you know, as you were saying, there's people out there and you don't even know they have it, you know.
Well, even that was our kick-off of our summer events. We did a fun day in Newry Hockey Club, and it was an amazing day. But one of our mummies was walking through Buttercrane Shopping Centre that morning with her Autism Mums t-shirt on, and just randomly got stopped and asked, "Who are you and what are you doing?" And that was a parent of a child with autism, and she came then to the day, and since that she's availed of the support and the different events and stuff that we're running. Although in all we're a support group, we are running events, we are a whole family group. So we are running events. Kathy has very kindly organised.
Kelly, where did I get mine?
Kelly.
She wants to be Kathy.
Kelly.
Sorry, Kelly has very kindly.
Kelly,
not Kathy.
Kelly.
Yeah, Kathy isn't even here.
And the one at the end here, Shona Ferns, your mummy's in the studio. Great to see it.
Kelly has organised a relaxation night for parents. Do you want to?
Yeah, we're doing a relaxation evening for the mums and dads. It's going to be very holistic, a lot of holistic therapies with Joanne Callan.
Joanne's a great girl.
Joanne's a lovely girl.
Right, Joanne.
She does the destination wellbeing.
She does. She's absolutely, and a very good person. She's into a lot of helping people. And good girl, Joanne.
So she'll be with us on the evening. So we'll be doing a bit of meditation, breathing techniques, different
Can you tell us a bit more about that? So it's a relaxation evening.
It's a relaxation evening where we're all just going to come together. It's just the parents, no children. We don't often get out together without children.
Just for a slight break.
Just for a slight break, 2 hours where we're just going to chillax and take it easy. And what Joanne's hoping to do is to help us with a few relaxation ideas that we can take home and we can use with the children ourselves. Like, I would be very big into breathing techniques and that. Like, if my wee child's going into a meltdown, I'd be, Alex, in through the nose, out through the mouth, slow it down, and it helps him to refocus.
Yeah.
And to take him away from the situation that was putting him over the edge in the first place. So there's different things like that. She's going to be doing like a guided visual meditations. I would use those at home as well. If you ever done yoga, the rotation of consciousness around the body, where you're trying to get a child to focus on the different parts of his body to help him relax and just to bring him down. So it's different wee things like that.
And it works okay, yeah.
It does. I find that it helps. All these different things are helping.
And
just to take the edge off. It's a natural
thing,
way of approaching it rather than... I know that there are medications you can take, but this is a more natural therapeutic way of
Well, anything
helping.
natural before having to
Yes.
take medicine, I think, is the best way,
Yeah.
But it's a good one. So relaxation night.
It's a relaxation night.
That's a different one, isn't it? A relaxation night.
And
then
then
the
the
men.
most definitely need a relaxation
Yeah.
night.
Say
you know.
they would need maybe one night a month just to be able to
Just to,
wind
yes.
down, chill out a bit, and learn new techniques,
And learn
breathing
new
techniques.
techniques that they can take home. and
It's
try.
all important, and it's all working, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, and
You know.
because we've got our ladies' evening coming up in the Brass Monkey,
But
we
I
sort
think
of...
you'll need to get the relaxation night sorted out quickly before
Oh,
the ladies' night.
it's before ladies' night.
It's next week.
It would need to be. It would need to be.
So to be
to even up the balance.
but to definitely even up the balance, we are organising at the minute a Daddy's Day. We give daddies a wee bit of time out. So we've kind of put it on Facebook in our private group, you know,
Right.
that's for parents only. So they have to choose between football, paintballing, or Formula Kart, and something along those lines. So we also want to do something for the daddies. But our first focus is always going to be the children and the siblings, and that's the one thing about our group that is the ethos of the group. Is it's all about the family, and it's all encompassing. It's looking at the family as a whole. When you have happier parents, you'll have happier children. When you have happier children, you'll have happier parents. So
Makes a lot of sense to me. Makes a lot of sense.
So it's all that kind of thing as well. But the one thing that I would like to tell everybody is the one promise we can give anybody that donates to our group or comes along and helps us with fundraising, even if you're only spending £1 on a ticket, every single penny is reinvested back into mostly the children, but into the family, and giving the children the social structures that they're going to need for when they're young adults. And at the end of the day, we want we want a whole wee workforce of children that has those social structures in place, that isn't going to get to the age of 18 and when all services is taken away,
Yeah, just gone then.
they're just gone and they're lost.
The support
you
goes
know?
on then.
Yeah.
And as you're saying,
Yeah.
it's not just for autistic children, it's for the whole family.
Yeah. Because
And the
we believe
siblings, you know, that
is
it's vital
amazing.
that
Like,
they're, you know,
That they're looked after.
that they're
yeah.
looked after too, because they are in a sense young carers,
Yeah.
you know, and they need to be looked after. So
They
do
do
as
get
well.
overlooked sometimes. You know, if you go
Yeah.
out somewhere and there's 3 or 4 of you and you've got 2 kids with you and Dylan's having a meltdown, you know, that's the day over for
You
two,
know,
and it's like, right, come on, that's it, time to
Yeah,
go home.
we
Days-
have
days
to
like
leave.
then.
Days like we have to go.
And it can
now.
happen just split second, can't
Yeah.
it? Because
can,
I've
really.
seen it happening in supermarkets, and because of my ignorance of autism, I'd say a brat needs a bit of a slap there, you know.
We've all been
We've
guilty
all-
of it, we've all been
We've
guilty of it, yeah.
We've all done that. And now that I know a bit more, you know, I can say, well, the child's having a meltdown. Fair enough, the parents are dealing with it, you know, and dealing with it pretty good. And it's like, as you were saying about when the group has started, and now it's tripled, and I think it's lack of education. And even as you were saying about, you know, your own son,
Yeah.
before he was diagnosed, not there.
Yep.
It's all, you know, so there's a lot of, if there's anybody out there and you've any doubts,
do it
so get in touch with it.
Before
with
your
Autism
diagnosis or
Mums.
in and around the time of it, you spend a lot of time on the internet, you know, reading up stuff, you know, and people going to, oh, he can't be autistic, he doesn't smile, or he can't be autistic because of this. And, you know, 100 times people say to me, Dylan's just mad. Do you know, and you could read 100 articles and still be as mad in your head. You know, I'm constantly on it. Everybody in my house, the daughters and everybody. Until you speak to people, you know, that are going through it or have, you know, have experienced of it, you're not going to get any sense of, you know, Googling it. You Google autism and your head will be absolutely wrecked. Because it's giving
Don't Google autism, friends. Don't do it. I'm telling you.
Google anything.
Don't
You're
Google it.
correct.
I was reading them and I got Stephen, I think he's got this, I've got this, and Stephen was like, got to the stage. But now that you've got this little, you know, this wee word of your own that you can sit and you can speak to them, you know, about eating problems and just meltdown, sleeping, anything, you just go on. The girls are on in a minute. It could be 2 and 3 in the morning where everybody else is still awake.
There's somebody who's been there and has something.
But then
to
we're all
share.
on this journey together, and we're all sort of in different places at the moment. Diane is at the diagnosis stage. We have had diagnosis 5 years ago for my wee man. We're further on down the track, you know. So everybody's got something to give, and everybody's got some bit of advice. What necessarily worked for Lachlan isn't going to work for Dylan. Isn't going to work for Alex, and something that works amazing for Alex might just be the key to something with Dylan, you know. So it's everybody's feeding off one another, everybody's sharing, and some little tiny gem of information that seems so tiny, and it can make the biggest difference to your whole family life, you know. And if it's that fixing, if you can have the child with autism, the child in the family with autism, if you can have them calm and relaxed, your whole family changes. Everything changes, you know. The whole feeling within the home and all changes once you can start knowing what you're doing, you know. And how you parent a child with autism is completely different to how you parent a child.
So 5 years after your son got the diagnosis, are you still sort of learning, are you? Every day?
You're always learning, because, you know, the child evolves and changes, and the parenting has to evolve and change with the child.
Unbelievable. You know, see, we're still learning, Brian. Out in Uri, we're still learning, Brian. And it's good for the likes of autism mums coming in here and explaining, you know, because you're educating the ignorant ones who don't know about it, you know.
But then at the end of the day, when I first took Lachlan, I had my fears and stuff to begin with Lachlan, that he was different. When I first took him to the doctors and the community paediatrician said autism, I heard the word, but not one idea of what autism was.
Were you devastated when you heard it at the time?
Well, did the same crack, went and started Googling and reading up on autism, and all you could see was, oh my God, he's going to end up in an institution, he's going to have no life. So you kind of went through a grieving process because the mat was pulled out from under you, because every parent does it. When your child's born, you're sitting with this newborn in your arms, and you have their life mapped out for them, really, you know, as every parent does that. So then this word autism just pulls the rug out from under your feet, and you think everything's going to change, he's not going to do this, he's not going to do that. And the thing that we have found with our children is our children can do things. Our children might be interested in the things that other children their age is interested in, but our children can do things. Our children are high achievers in many, many ways. So, you know, once we have the support group, like we did a backpack in Tesco's, and a parent came up to us and was saying her son, who was, I think he was 19 at the time, he had just finished university and got his degree, you know. So that's what it's all about, you know. At the same time, you know, there is autistic kids, and I mean, there's one of them, and in London, and he only has to look at the skyline in London for about 2 minutes, and that guy, you give him a pencil, even 3 days later, and he can draw that skyline to perfection. I mean, you know, whatever is missing in certain parts of their brain, they're tripled or quadrupled when they concentrate on the likes of doing artwork and that. It's completely different than what a normal person can do, you know.
They shock you that, you know, there's things that Dylan used to speak when he was a year and a half, and he spoke no bother. He ran around the house saying everything, and then he just stopped. It's like he regressed and he just went back, and he never spoke at all. He could be in the living room and he wouldn't speak at all. There's something come on the TV that he didn't even copy it. He was saying the words like 2 seconds after it. Do you know? So exactly what he was saying. He might not say in the words clearly, but he was mimicking or copying, I don't know what they call it, as soon as he says it. You know, and you think he's not taking things in, he'd be in the kitchen, he'd never speak a word to us, maybe for 2-3 weeks. And then he'd come out like, I was telling Kelly the day it was my wee lad's 14th birthday, and you could go up to him and say, Dylan, say this, Dylan, say that. We spend all day saying, Dylan, say this, Dylan, say that. And he's just like, Dylan, shut up, you know. He's wandering around baiting things off the wall and all that, strangling the dog. And we're like, Dylan, say this, Dylan. He never said a word. We took the cake out, put the candle in. The minute we lit the candle, he started singing happy birthday to me at the top of his voice.
Oh, brilliant.
Well, we had it lit about 4 times. We were like, again.
Get it all birthday cake.
He could sing happy birthday. We were like, make the camera quick.
Isn't that brilliant? But it just shows you that it's all in there. It's just how to get it out, isn't it?
Exactly.
So it's all, every day is a learning curve, really, isn't it? And as an autism mum or dad, isn't it? It's a learning curve every day. And you know, I've got a cousin who's autistic. He's older than me, and big shout out to my Aunt Josie. And she's, you know, she still takes him down the town and that there, and he's always in time.
Oh, yeah.
So if I stand talking, well, Josie, how you doing? And next he's pulling her, come on, we have to go.
Yeah.
You know, because it's 2 seconds past. When he was here, you know, yesterday, it's now 2 seconds past, I better go, you know. If you talk to her any more than a minute, you've had it, you know, you're getting the big elbow, like.
I can't wait till one of our children starts doing that with his parent. See when Dara starts pulling Aideen out. Aideen was supposed to be here today, so a big hello to Aideen. She's unwell and unable to get. So when Dara starts pulling Aideen out and Aideen eventually gets places in time, we'll be laughing.
And a big shout out to Carla as well.
Big shout out to Carla too.
Carla's been messaging me flat out on the Facebook, you know, and she's doing great work. I was talking to her on Saturday, so looking well with the blonde hair and all. Would you quit?
She's a bit pink looking now, isn't she?
She's getting that punky look about her, isn't she? Yeah.
So called midlife crisis.
Oh, I didn't say that, Carla. It wasn't me said that. Bit of controversy in the Banter show for you.
I'm older than us, so don't worry about it.
But it was a great day, I have to say.
It really, really was, and there was a phenomenal amount of money that was raised on the night. We haven't got a final figure yet, but whatever was raised, it's getting split straight down the middle between ourselves and Alzheimer's Society. It's for the neurocures kind of thing.
I can't believe the crowd that went down to the Indo. You know what I mean? That for such a small club, such a small street, they got the street sealed off, and the street was full.
But behind the scenes, there was an awful lot of organising and an awful lot of effort went into that day.
Of course.
And all the guys, Marie Claire and Assumpta and
I was talking to Marie Claire.
They were amazing. So
they were working flat out. Desi Taggart as well, Eamon Walker.
Yeah.
There's a few more. Remy McAvoy. Remy was up speaking. Remy was doing like MC at it and all, you know. But it was a brilliant day for such a small club.
Yeah, they really did.
Marie Claire, she was on to me on Twitter last night saying they were counting the money even last night.
Yeah.
So it's great.
I think it speaks volumes for how many people really are affected by it, you know, like grandparents and cousins and uncles and aunties and stuff like that, you know.
Indeed.
And it wasn't so well known years ago, you know, and nobody really wanted to speak about it. And me and Kelly just heard when we were upstairs, there's a new autism unit opened in
St Joseph's in Bestbrook.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Just heard.
That's what we've just heard.
Just
before we come on.
Yeah.
Let us know about that. If there's an autism group started out in St Joseph's and Besbrook, get on to the Banter show here or Destination Area, or even Autism Mums on Facebook. Isn't that what you do?
Yeah, you'll find us on Facebook. But we also have had, I was saying about support from the community. Local businesses have supported us amazingly. But also Sean Quinn has come on board with the group. He's getting involved with us. His hand does the Run for Autism. It is, I'm near sure off the top of my head, it's
4th of
the
October.
4th of October. So Autism Mums is getting involved with that. He's going to give us a bit of funding for when we're setting up in the Bosco and stuff as well. But he is
I'm going to actually walk for 10 miles. I've never walked that
I'm
far.
fine. I just give you
So get somebody to walk for me.
I told Carla if she's seen me running, she better run too, because there's somebody chasing me. That's the only way you'll get me running.
So there's going to be a big sponsored walk and run
It's
type
a
of
big
thing?
sponsored run. It runs every year. Sean Quinn does that. It's Hand Run for Autism. It'd be brilliant to get Sean in here too.
Sean Quinn, Banter show, get in.
Yep.
Here's your invite. Come in and tell us all about it.
They do it every year. It starts off out in Lissummon. It's a 10k walk, run, or I think they've a short
of a half
marathon and stuff too. But I think it's you pay £10 admission or something along those lines. I'm not sure
Yeah.
off the top of my head.
The runners are all
You like
checked in that,
register,
so
you pay
it's-
£10
You
register,
register,
and then
they
you get
do
your
it.
Yeah.
So
sponsor
Autism
form.
Mums is, there's going to be a few of us running and walking on the day,
There you go.
distributing water and stuff like that for the runners and walkers.
Me and Alicia's distributing
I'm
water.
distributing water. That's my task for
There's
the
a big
day.
fight over who's going to distribute the water on the run or the sponsored
I
walk.
think this is where Shauna should come in. And
Oh.
Shauna should do the walk for me. on the run.
Shauna,
Yeah, and
You're
can
going to
help
be doing
me
the walk for your
distribute
mum.
water,
Oh, me
Diane.
who's doing the water. Alicia, sponges and all.
Yeah, we'll wipe your brow, Kelly.
aren't they awful nation here?
We're so kind. But that's another thing within the group that I find amazing, is that although we're all parents of children with autism, we have found the best group of mommies,
Yeah.
daddies ever, and everybody's working tirelessly. Not one person is getting paid one penny out of this. Not
Well,
for-
how good's that?
Not what, not for phone calls, not for diesel, nothing. Everything's just going straight into the kids. But the thing I find is we're all striking up amazing friendships and stuff as well.
There's good support there.
Yeah,
it's like,
it's great
it's like one
support
big
network.
family, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's just
it's
like one
getting-
big
yeah.
family.
it really is. And do you know that now where you're at the stage where you'll just lift the mobile and you'll say, you might have started off with a problem with your child and you're started off on a rant, but an hour and a half later on the phone, you come off the phone and you're like, what were you talking about? Oh, jeez, can't remember. Anyway, do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
turned into
After an
real
hour
good
and a half
friendships.
on the phone.
Yeah. It
You're
is
not
really
realised
good.
you can talk.
She says an hour and a half on the phone. But no, I understand what you're saying. It's probably great for some of the ladies there who now have a bit of support. You know, new people joining the group feel, God, it's great to have a bit of support here. That
Nobody will
previously
understand what you're going through,
That's it.
like a fellow autism parent.
And there's also the sense of isolation whenever you're first diagnosed too, because you have this child and you're afraid to go anywhere, and you can become quite reclusive yourself and turn in on yourself.
Kind of wrap up in a
Yeah,
bubble
you
type
wrap
of
up in a
scenario.
bubble,
Yeah.
and you know, there's always a fear. If we go here, we go there, and the child melts down. How am I going to handle? What am I going to do? Everybody's going to be looking at me. You know,
Like I find
we've put on
family
more
events.
floor shows in Marks and Spencers than you can imagine.
I find for family events, I used to have to
Yeah.
clear myself up for a week.
You had a
No,
psychological.
and it's my brother's christening, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, what
How
if
am I
he
gonna
does
work
this? Or
this?
how am I? So
Yeah.
you were afraid of going out. You
Yeah.
were afraid of doing things. As we're now, we all go out as a group, and if Alex is having a meltdown, we'll all go, oh, jeez, poor Kelly, so I hope my boy doesn't. You know what I mean?
It's not like
As
her
we're
next.
not looking, going, jeez, that's an ill-word wee devil. That
Yeah.
that child needs a slap. And I've actually
Yeah.
had that said to me. That child
Yeah.
needs a slap.
Yeah.
You know, so none of us is ever looking at each other.
There's
None
no
of
I
us
know,
is
and,
ever
judgment.
and
judging
Saturday
anyone.
Dylan had a meltdown as soon as we went in. He didn't want to do anything. He ended up, he was lying on the floor, and Carla came over to me and she went, Deanne, Dylan's bad the day. If it'd been anybody else, she'd been like, "Hi, right, dead on," you know. And I was like, "Yeah, no." She's like, "Well, maybe you should do this, you know. I think it's time that you start ringing about, you know. You need to start pushing for this. You need to maybe start going and get his hearing test, because at the start of it, you're kind of waiting for everything."
Yeah.
Like he said, 3 sessions with the speech therapist. At one stage, she told me, "Why does he need to talk? Because you speak for him." Got to the stage, I'm like,
Oh.
you know, until she came with Town Kelly again. She came into the house one day just as a routine because he's going to a 2-year-old programme. And she sat, and she was only in the house 5 minutes, and she says, "I see what you're talking about." Because he just didn't. She thought, oh, do you know, she's one of these mothers that go, somebody said to me using the autism card, who really chooses to use the autism card, you know? It's not something we would choose.
No.
Do you know,
it's
as much as
definitely
we'd
not.
never change the children, we'd never choose for them to be like this, you
Yes.
know.
But I
And
find that too. A lot of people,
it's just
if you
it's so
actually
long.
said,
Yeah.
if your child's having a meltdown, and there's some very, very judgmental people about, but that's not because they choose to be that way. It's probably mostly because they don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, but that judgment, and that someone coming to you and saying, geez, that child's having a meltdown, or no, that child's awfully bad behaved and needs a good slap. See there, whenever you've got another parent that can say,
Are you all right?
yeah, are you
Yeah.
all right?
Yeah.
Do you know what? See if you maybe take him in there and by himself where it's awful quiet, that might help to calm him down, because out here's too noisy for him.
I know everybody was trying to help him, you know,
Yeah.
and it got to the stage that I didn't want to. Do you know, you do, because you're so
Yeah.
used to it.
Yeah.
We got to the point that we never took Dylan anywhere. The only places that we have took Dylan in the last year is now this group. We didn't even take him to the likes of Ascos or anything like
So
that.
now you've agreed to take him to.
Yeah.
So isn't it wonderful?
It's brilliant, and nobody looks at you. He just goes on and runs, and you know, if he takes the ball off somebody, the parents are to say, "Don't worry about it." If it was any other group, they would be going, "Do you know here?" Yeah, maybe go like, "Here's the ball," but they're going, do you know, he's just took the ball off my child. And it's a case of, don't worry about it. Do you know, he's running on his own. We're
all in the one place. We're all one big group.
You're not going to get another parent coming over to you and saying, you need to teach that child some manners. He just took the ball.
Rolling
We're
the eyes.
also understanding.
Rolling the eyes is the one that does me. You can see them, you know, looking at you and rolling the eyes.
Giving it that
and like, are we
We've got him under the arm and
they're just so object focused. They'll just see the object, take the object. They don't even see the child who has the object, because all they see is the object, because that's their focus. You know,
and you're after touching on something there. You were saying about when your child was having the meltdown, and I think it was Carol saying like it's maybe time to get the hearing checked.
Yep.
Simple wee thing like that there. You know, I would never think of that.
The reason I went on so much, we run a wee parents' holiday group up in Martin's Lane, and you know, Dylan's been in and out of it for 2 years, and it's, you know, because I say what they're like every Thursday, you know, and Dylan just kind of just slides along. He'd be underneath the chair somewhere. He's not happy with them in the group, you know, but to take him away every week from it is not going to do him good either, you know, because you're going to isolate him from it, you know. So him being in that group all the time, and you know, it was a case that we never did anything with him. We never took him anywhere. So I was niggling at Stephen and stuff like that. And that's the first, you know, protocol, is to go to your doctor or your health visitor. But these girls will tell you, it takes such a long time from the minute that somebody, you know, you have to get somebody to listen to you first. Do you know, because I was always just saying it to the husband and the daughter, and they were going to leave him, that's just his personality, or, do you know, I'm sick of people telling me that he's just mad.
Until grow out of it.
I plucked up the courage and phoned the health visitor after months of looking at Lachlan and knowing Lachlan was different. And by then the behaviour difficulties and stuff had always been coming to the fore. I phoned the health visitor and asked her up, and the thing the health visitor said back to me would just stuck with me, and it'll stick with me for life. Sure, how could he's just a boisterous boy. How could there be anything wrong with you? You're such a good mommy. So then I sat back and I got the pat in the back that I needed. No, he's grand, and then lived in my wee land and my wee bubble of my own, thinking, no, my boy's perfect, it's definitely not. And it took me a further maybe 4 months before I contacted a different health visitor within the same practice. And she got on the ball for me, but then it always stuck with me then once I had the word autism mentioned. I remember sitting one night crying, does that mean I'm actually a bad mommy now? Because there is something, because she said there couldn't be something wrong with you, you're a good mommy. You know what I mean?
It's unbelievable.
So even professionally, I think a lot of health visitors and stuff like that need to open their eyes a wee bit more, because when you have a parent coming to you worried, it takes a lot for that parent to lift the phone and say, I need help, there's something different here.
That's the biggest step, isn't it? That's the biggest, bravest step.
Admitting it to yourself, because as a parent, you'll always want to believe that your child is absolutely perfect. And don't get me wrong, our children are absolutely perfect.
Yes.
Right? But you don't want to believe they're different. You don't want to think, oh, geez, there's something wrong, there's something different here, there's something going on that's not right. So to actually lift that phone, it takes an awful amount of courage to lift that phone.
That's the
because
big one.
you spend months sitting in tears thinking, is it? No, it's not. Yeah, it is. No, it's not. And then you have a good day and you're like, no, it's grand. Then you have a day where you have 10 meltdowns before breakfast and you're like, oh my God, how am I going to cope? So even professionally, professionals need to open their eyes and realise that if you have a parent contacting you and saying, I have a difficulty in some way, or I'm not... I don't know what's happening here. The wee man's very hard to handle. He's boisterous, maybe he's violent, because the frustration does be there when there's no speech. Like with my wee man, he would have been very, very aggressive. That was purely down to frustration with no speech and stuff like that. He couldn't communicate with us. He couldn't say when he was sore. He couldn't say when he was hungry. Couldn't say when he was tired. Couldn't say when he was cold. You know, that kind of way. So they have that frustration. If you
he's just suffering in silence, basically.
Really, but if you go up to a ward in Daisy Hill of stroke victims, people that has suffered a stroke, and they lose their speech, you'll see in each and every one of them. Because personally, my mother-in-law had a stroke, and when she lost her speech before she got it back, you could see the frustration, because the words were sitting there on the tip of her tongue. And it's the same with our children. They know exactly what they want to say, but they just can't get the words out, if you know what I mean. They know what they want, they know what they need, but they can't
Could spend
Can't
an hour.
express it out,
Yeah.
just can't
You
express
spend
it.
an hour in front of the cupboard, opening the cupboard, going, "Do you want this? Do you want that? Do you want this? Do you want that?" And he's going, "Ah!" And you're going, "Do you want this? Do you want that?" You're taking everything out.
And he's
Everything's
looking
out.
directly at the thing he
Yeah,
wants. He
he's
sees it
gone-
and he's like, "Stop
He's
telling
going
me
like
all
this,
these things."
and I'm going, this, do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this?
The whole way through the cupboard.
You take the whole cupboard out. It's going, "Oh, here, take whatever you want."
The last one there. Yeah, I'm not
Oh,
that
is
one.
that what you wanted? Because my mum used to take it. It was so funny because he got this thing that used to like the squirty cream. Now he wouldn't
Yeah.
eat very much. He would eat like bread and toast. He lived on bread and toast, but he'd like the squirty cream, but he'd like it squirted into the lid. So my ma had him one day. We were out shopping or something, and she come back. She's like, "I don't know what I'm going to do. I have no idea." He's in and out that kitchen, into that fridge, keeps opening the fridge and looking at something in the fridge. She says, "There's nothing in the fridge." He says, "Only milk." She says, "I'm taking the milk out." Going, "Do you want milk? Do you want milk?" I says, "It's the cream he wants." "How am I supposed to know it's the cream he wants? Nobody told me before you left it was the cream he wants." So going in, going, "There, it's cream there." How simple is that?
It just shows you that sometimes the smallest little, the smallest little deal to them. It's we might think it's small to us, but
He's
to
running
them
in the
it's-
living room and throwing himself on the
Yeah.
floor, screaming
No.
and coming back in and pointing
And
at
that's
the
the
fridge.
object focus, because he is so focused on that object, and that's all he wants.
Yeah, there's no
And
taking him
nothing
away from
else.
it.
There's nothing else will
Nothing
matter.
else will work. He
It's
just
amazing,
has
isn't
to
it?
have that.
But tell me this, as a group then, where or when do you meet?
Well, at the moment we're coming to the end of our summer now, so we are going to New Grange Farm tomorrow.
Oh.
There's a bus leaving the Morn Country at 10:30. So we are doing that tomorrow. We have
With the zoo then on
with the
Monday.
zoo then Monday. The following Monday, then we have a big back to school cinema day.
Oh, brilliant.
Pro Fitness down in Warren Point. We're holding it in their class studio. So they've kindly come aboard and they're supporting us. So we thought in turn we'll come down and sort of a wee bit of advertising for their business and stuff as
Okay,
well.
yeah.
And they kindly offered their hall. So we're doing mobile cinema and stuff down there as a back to school treat.
Brilliant.
There'll be a magician and stuff on the day as well. So then after that it just has to go to the committee of the Bosco, but it's more or less going ahead that we are moving into the Bosco in
Oh,
September, and we'll be meeting once a week from 4 to 7.
once a week from 4 to 7 in September up in the Bosco.
Yeah.
For anybody that's out there and has an autistic child, and that you haven't actually grasped that you want to join this group, feel free to come to
We
the meetings.
originally
isn't
were
it?
meeting once a month. It originally was a Facebook page, as you know, a support page, and then parents were getting on saying we really want to meet. You want to meet the faces you're talking to
Of
online.
course, yeah.
So the once a month just wasn't enough. Do you know what I mean? Because parents are saying, "Oh, Jesus, it's going to be a month till we meet again." So once we've run the whole summer scheme, and it has been fab. So it has. We've been, where all have we been? Fort Evergreen. We had a barbecue in Kilbrony. The cinema trips. And
Cinema trips,
is
Rascals.
brilliant because they have the lights left on the side, so it's not completely dark. So the volume at a nice level that's acceptable for the children. And another thing is, if your child gets up and runs about, you're not going to have people topping and walking out. Do you know, which means a lot. And
Makes a
I
lot of
don't
sense to
know
me.
if you have encountered that, but I have.
Makes
So
a lot of
as
sense.
they're, like, during the movie, there was a couple of wee boys down kind of pretend sword fighting, do you know, in front of the screen.
Yeah.
And not one of us batted an eyelid, and that's just the way it is. So we've done all that. Come September, we're going to move into the Bosco. We'll be meeting once a week then. But it's also, we have found over the course of the summer, where everybody's been meeting more often, the group, including the brothers, the sisters, everybody has come together, and you can see bonds forming, you can see friendships forming amongst the children and amongst even the siblings, and they're getting that support from one another and stuff as well. So I think once we move into the Bosco, it'll be brilliant. We've loads of big plans and bringing in our own sensory equipment and stuff like that for the children.
Brilliant.
So they can sort of hop from area to area. The whole Bosco is open up to us, which means the children
Fantastic.
can use their computer suite and stuff like that as well. A lot of those children love computers. You'll see if we're in the
On
middle of a
days out, there's
meltdown.
tablets
and
everywhere.
do you know, an iPad can be handed over to try and calm down. Here, look at this. You know, so it'll be brilliant. So it will. You know, it's how the groups run forward. We already have We have Christmas trips organised already for the kids. That's all in place.
Wow, you're way ahead of yourselves, aren't you?
You know,
That's
but
great.
that's the thing, that everybody within the group is all working together.
It's all positive, isn't it?
Yeah, and none of us wants any negativity. We get enough of that from different places anyway.
Yeah.
But we want these social structures in place for our children where they can develop and they've got that safe thing.
They'll have their own peer group as they're getting bigger. They'll have their own peer group.
Yeah.
They'll have their own support, and
then
that's very important for the children.
I'm sure they'll bond anyway, won't they? They'll make their own little bonds. And
They are, sure.
Oh, they already are.
But then it's also, as they grow, you want this 13-year-old not to lock himself or herself away in a room, away from everybody, because they feel there's no place for them, because they're different. As where they'll know, like Lachlan can go to Pascal and say, you know, come on, we go down here, come on, we'll go for a walk. And they'll do stuff that's suiting them, do you know what I mean? And they'll have them structures in place. And the friendships and the bonds and stuff is there from such a young level.
Maybe 10-year-old girl, she's like, can I join the committee when I'm bigger? And, you know, like, you know, she sees it so long term.
That's the
potential.
The potential.
But you see, we all see it long term. And I remember one night me and Carol was just sitting talking, and we were saying about how the group has just grown dramatically overnight and stuff like that. And I says, do you know what, at the end of the day, I want to see, like, your Pascal sitting on the committee. At the end, we are looking at this from a parent's perspective at the moment, because we're all parents. But at the end of the day, I want to see 10, 15 years down the line, Pascal and Lachlan sitting on the committee, and they're giving it from the child's perspective.
Indeed.
And then, well, like, we've got siblings and stuff as well, and all those different perspectives are as equal as ours as parents. Do you know what I mean? We obviously are going to look at more from ours, because that's the area we understand it most from. As much as we try our best to look at it from the kids' perspective, it's impossible. So 15 years down the line, when we've got Alex and Lachlan and Pascal and all the boys sitting on the committee, and they're telling us, girls, see when you've done that trip, none of us like that.
What were you thinking?
What were you thinking? None of us want to do that.
This is a brilliant idea.
You know,
the potential for this alone is you're getting into their minds when they're getting that bit older, and the knock-on effect that is amazing. It really is, isn't it?
Well, hopefully it'll empower the children themselves.
It also gives us that.
It'll give us a bit of knowledge then, won't it?
Yes.
Give them the possession.
But do you know what? You can sit back, like the day of the fun day, you can sit back and you can see 60 to 100 wee smiling faces running around, and they feel at home, they feel welcomed, they're not outcast, they're not segregated from society, they're not feeling like, I can't do this. You see all these smiling faces, all running, all having fun, all playing together, and then you sit back and you realise this is what this is all about, if you know what I mean.
It works. This works.
Yeah, because of that group, before the group, we couldn't even take them. I couldn't take Dylan anywhere. And now when they have anything, you're no worries. You know, before you went out, I took them anywhere, you were like, oh, here we go again. But you have no worries. Nobody even bats an eyelid,
so
and everybody's there to help.
Your life's sort of normalised a bit. You can where you didn't take them out before. Now you can go to a group and have a bit of fun, talk to the girls.
But I found even moving on down the line a few years, Lachlan in school, he kind of was the one that was excluded, the one that wasn't invited, the one that wasn't asked to go somewhere. And he would come back and he'd be, Mummy, why did they not ask me to go when everybody else went? And, you know, you're trying to put that to your child very nicely, and, you know, that kind of way. As where now he feels this is his group. This is where he belongs. This is for him. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
He feels like he'll say, like this morning, Mummy, what are we doing today? Are we doing something with our group, or is that tomorrow? And you're like, no, that's tomorrow.
So now he's got something, he's got something to look forward to as well.
As soon as Alex sees me put on the T-shirt, the smile there, because he knows this is Autism Mum's group, you know.
Which is brilliant. You know,
it's a good outlook then, and I have to say we're coming near that time there. He's only have to give him the old time-out signal there. But it's great. The group has tripled. Everything's going. It's going. It's starting to go now. And as you're saying, the children are looking forward to even come to the group, and it's a good buzz, isn't it?
It is.
That's it. And
it's all positive.
That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah.
I just want to shout, if there's anybody out there that can help autism mums, don't be afraid, get in touch with them on the Facebook.
And also any parents out there of children with autism that maybe haven't heard of our group or know anything about our group, get in contact with us. We are here, we want to help. This is what we're all about, you know, and we want your children to be involved in our group.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And will you open a Twitter page?
We will. We're going to have to organise that
We're gonna have
tonight.
to do that.
Matthew T.
Yeah.
Messer, I'll give you all the details of the Twitter page. You can have a chat with the ladies and all this crap. Get Breaking Bad involved for the crowd.
Oh, bad.
So it's not so bad. Well, listen, friends, thanks for tuning in, and I hope everybody can support autism mums. I'm certainly doing my best to support
Yep.
them.
And can we just thank the people of Newry for all their support so far, because they have been phenomenal.
There you
Really
go.
have.
As a matter of fact, let's give autism mums a big round of applause. Come on, give yourselves a big round of applause. I have to say, that's fantastic. Because there you go, now we've got a real group, and it's heading in the right
Yeah,
direction.
it
isn't
is.
Yeah.
So listen, friends, thanks for tuning in. It's been interesting, and you've educated us again.
Thank you.
You know, Brian, you're getting your education. Tune into this show this evening. That's Tattoo Brian, as I call him. So no, Brian definitely he wants to know more about it. He's interested. He wants educated. Just like the rest of us, friends. Just like the rest of us. So for me and the autism mums, he's going to give us a riser.
Riser.
Friends, for me and the autism mums, we're out of here. Riser.
Riser.
is in, and it's in the back of the net, and it's Keelan McCullough. Is that Keelan McCullough or is it Daggy Carville? Daggy Carville. Daggy Carville.
Look to Gabriel Smith. Gabriel now the big midfielder. Ryan Mallon. Ryan forward to McCarry. And he's put it in the onion bag. Ross McCarry. Super score.
Try to do in respect of all the decisions that I made.
I'm here today with Mr. Danny Doran and Yuri Man, originally from the Old Point Road in Yuri.
Very, very big welcome to the Armagh Ladies. Sinead, Mags and Sean here.
Hi, welcome to Destination Baby. It's a new magazine series brought to you by Destination Yuri.